In so many cases, people could be in the same event and they could be one table apart from each other. And they are exactly that event to meet with each other. And that's why God and the universe did everything they can to bring them in proximity together. But because we're not stepping out of our comfort zone to talk to strangers, that person will just show up there. And maybe even we'll see them again and again at different friends' events, but we're not going to have that courage to bring them together. And I've learned that, this is something we've heard in the movies: with great power comes great responsibility. My great power is connecting people together. And not just as a super connector, as someone who is an immigrant since the age of 10 and an introvert by nature. And I wish I had such people in my life when I was growing up. And I love giving people the challenge of sending me a 1-minute voice message. And if they give me one of their minutes, the least I could do, because I know I have 1,000 available minutes every day, I could give them at least one of my minutes.
Yeah, you better. Guess you want this, I want this. Everybody in this world should have it. Stop illusions, it's in your hands. Show yourself, reveal it to them. Yeah, you better. Check the time to recognize it. You won't leave me even if I tried it. You're the artist, I'm the mess, and happily be found the new in your hands.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Unlimited with Elisabeth Carson. Today I have such a good friend of mine that I met recently in Bali. Man, it was magic out there, and Gil, you stood out immediately. I think you're one of the first people that I talked to in Bali outside of the group that I came with. So, you know what? It was such an honor to meet you there, Gil. Your energy is just different, and man, it's been an honor. So thank you so much for being here with me today. I appreciate you so much.
Thank you, my dear. It was a pleasure to have you as our guest in the island. I call it my home island because I've been here for 6 years. So having you join us on the island and bringing your magic, and you came with an entourage, absolute pleasure. And please come again and bring more friends.
Yes, I plan to, for sure, for sure. So, Gil, for people that don't know you, that follow me, who are you? What do you do? Where do you come from? Just give us a little rundown about yourself.
What a big question. So who I am today is a father of three who is, living in a beautiful island of Bali already for a few years, and gone on this very, very deep journey of human connection. I've been studying the arts and sciences of human networking and going super deep into quantum networking mechanics for many, many years. And on this journey, I've experimented as an entrepreneur. So I've had more than 20 successful failures as an entrepreneur, from restaurants to tech, mobile apps, and event companies. I've produced over 2,000 events around the world. So I've learned the do's and don'ts of human connection.
Mhm.
I've experimented a lot of getting myself on stages, over 1,000 stages in the world that have invited me as a speaker. So I've learned about how to connect with an audience and how to get a message out there. And also the mistakes that I've made are more than many. And this journey took me on this beautiful, passionate adventure of coming to this exact point in my life of being 46 years young, and coming closer than ever before, and understanding where my mission and passion and this energy that's been in me all these years, and this fire as an Aries, where that's been leading me. It's all led me to this point of understanding, hey, humanity needs the help to connect more than ever before right now. Because of social media and because of AI, we've disconnected so much. So what I've been doing for the last 15 years has led me to this point right now, where combining my knowledge, combining the understanding of wellness and biohacking, bringing it all together to this one point of like, what is this magic that I could bring to the right people in the world to help them connect more meaningfully, more authentically, sometimes more strategically, but just more from the heart.
I love that, Gil. I love that. You've sounds like you've lived many lives like me. So you've experienced a lot of different things. I remember we met one time and you said that you had done some stuff with Tony Robbins. And so that must have been an adventure in itself, right?
That was 13 years and still going. I'm not as active in that business as I used to be. COVID really gave us a big hit on that business. But let's just say from 2013 until COVID hit, we were bringing over 1,000 people a year to Tony's events. And we weren't a local partner. We were more of a regional partner, meaning we would help 1,000 plus people fly around the world and, showing up, taking 3 planes, taking 5 hotels. It was a really unique journey because Tony has been a big part of my life. He's been a mentor since the age of 18. And people like him and Eckhart Tolle and Jay Abraham and all these incredible speakers, I wanted to just find a way to say thank you. And with Tony specifically, my goal was like, how can I build a relationship with him, or how can I one day share a stage with him? I didn't know I was going to build a multi-million-dollar business around it. I didn't know I was going to I would organize an event for him with 26,000 people. I never knew that. But I did know it was a journey to serve my mentors as they have, without knowing, served me so well.
Yeah. Gil, you know what I noticed about you is that you give so much, and God source universe always returns that for you in some way, shape, or form. Is that kind of how you got led to this point? I mean, just your expansion. You said you never saw yourself setting up, an event for him, 26,000 people. I mean, is that kind of how you've like funneled yourself into who you are today and, created this new thing that you're creating at the moment?
It's such a beautiful question. The answer is I don't know, because at the age of 18, I remember myself working. I was in Toronto, Canada. My English was really poor. English is my 3rd language, and I found myself not happy working in a business, in the warehousing business. And I was watching something in the internet, and an infomercial came in with Tony Robbins. And at that point in my life, of course, I didn't know what I wanted, but I remember that it was the first point in my life where I understood I'm not happy with the position I'm in, and I need to take action. And throughout that journey, I've lived in quite a few different countries, and I've changed industries more than 10 times in my life. And throughout that journey, I've always found myself not looking for a job that would make me money, but looking for a job that has a really interesting boss, looking for a mentor, looking for that person that will be a role model for me, and to try to see how I can. Back then, it was like, how can I grow because of them? I didn't know what I knew today. So back then, it was like, how can I grow faster I didn't have the money. I didn't have the university degree. I didn't have the connections back then. So how can I hold on to someone and grow because of them? And because of that knowledge, every time I wanted to launch a new business, like a restaurant, a mobile app with this events company, it always came through, well, if I want to be successful, I need to understand, one, who can I co-elevate with? That's a new terminology that I've learned in recent years from one of my dear friends, Keith Farazi. Back then, it was like, who can I hold on to in order to grow with them? And then, who can I serve best in order to grow as well? So who would be those clients? And it's only really in the last 10 years that I started learning about karmic partners and understanding what that means. I started learning about strategic partners in general. Like, instead of attracting sponsors, I can attract strategic partners into an event that would make the event just so much better as an experience for everyone. And it's also because of these teachers. It wasn't about like, hey, how can I make money with Tony Robbins? It was like, hey, I was 33 at the time, and I was like, I really want to go to a Tony Robbins event with my partner. And I'm like, what? It's thousands of dollars, and it's far away, and I don't have, I needed like $15,000 just to get there. And the flights and the hotel and the visas and the ticket for the event. I was like, where? And my resourceful mindset was thinking, what? Hold on, Gil. How can you find a way to add value? So I became a promoter, and I brought 25 people for the first event. And that was really unique way to come in, not from a position of I want to come in for free or I want to come in to make money, but I want to come in because I need the help. And I
Mhm.
had to find a way to be resourceful. If I don't have the money, but I really want to do it, how can I add value to Tony Robbins and other people and show up at the event? And that kind of developed into this nature of like, well, you want to grow or you feel stuck, find some good people you want to add value to.
I love that so much, Gil. It's like growth mindset and resourcefulness. It's you didn't let your current situation limit your chance of being where you wanted to be. I love that about your mind. It's like you found the way to kind of get yourself in there. And I think one of the most important things in life is really to add value where you go. I mean, I really feel like that's kind of the purpose of human connection. Otherwise, it's if you're not helping and adding value and building, then you're kind of taking away, right? What are your thoughts?
So so many people, depending on people's age groups, depending on the culture as well, they don't always understand that we have so much. Like, I
Mhm.
didn't come from a rich family. So for me, I never learned about giving charity, for example, doing philanthropy. I I was told a lot in my life, money doesn't grow on trees. Well, actually, it does, because it's paper and paper comes from trees. So hold on. Why was I told that? Why was I told when I was younger that rich people are probably not very good because maybe they stole the money or they did something bad? And, all these limiting beliefs that were given to me when I was younger didn't help me understand what success really meant. What my dad gave me this understanding of being resourceful. My
Mhm.
dad was a carpenter, still is today, and he knows how to use tools. And my brother took that after him, and they know how to use tools. They go to their shed and they have a lot of these tools. Now, I'm the kind of guy that I learned how to use those tools. I can come into your house and I can fix anything from electricity to plumbing and drywalling. I can get your house painted, no problem. However, when I lived in London in my 20s, I looked into my closet one day and I said, like, it takes me a long time to do the laundry every week. Maybe I can outsource that. And it's in my 20s. It was never in my culture to pay someone to do my laundry.
Yeah.
And that's when resourcefulness came in, where we could be resourceful not just for ourselves, but we could be resourceful for others as well. And it
Mhm.
creates this beautiful magic of collaboration. And it
Mhm.
creates this ability to understand that we don't need to be solopreneurs, as we've been told. And we don't
Mhm.
need to get everything done by ourselves. And yes, we might have the power to get things done, and we are a creator, but no, we're not. We're a co-creator with others. So I've learned that everything I ever have done in my life, I have done because of someone else or with the help of someone else. Everything. Meaning that if I want to do anything great and impactful in my life, I got to find the right people to serve. I got to find people like yourself to collaborate with. And that's the way we can really make a big difference in the world.
Yeah, I so agree with that, Gil. And this just reminds me of when I met you, right? We were at Russell Simmons biohacking, what do you call it? Like a retreat or whatever, that
The
his place is
beautiful
called.
resort, G-Dust. Yeah, the Bali Eden.
Yes. Oh my God. I walked in, I was like, this is my place. Like I belong here. It was crazy. So I met you there and I met you because you were doing some sort of exercise, right? That I've never seen before, that I never, even I was like, this is so interesting. And basically you got everybody there to connect with each other, with strangers, even the most introverted, which I'm pretty introverted, to be honest. I mean, I'm an extroverted introvert. Like I'm pretty to myself and I'll kind of stay in my own little lane and I really won't, venture off and try to talk to a whole bunch of people. But your exercise forced me out of my comfort and into talking to people that I never would have talked to. And it was beautiful.
Thank you. I love that. So, Russell Simmons and G-Dust is a place that I fell in love with way before they opened. And that event you came to, that was one of the events that I adopted the place when they opened up. I adopted it. I said, listen, I don't need to be paid. I just love it. I love biohacking. I'm into health. I'm into bringing people together. I'm going to commit to you, Russell, because you're a friend. I'm going to commit to you every single week every single Sunday for the next 10 weeks. I'd like to come in and organize a little gathering here, and I'll facilitate, and I'll bring my tea masters so we can get some tea going on. No need for any alcohol to be served anywhere. And it was really amazing because the time that you came, that was actually my exactly 10th week. And
Wow.
every single week I did it, it just got better and better. And people didn't understand why I was doing it. I was like, Gil, you're not making any money. You're not asking for any commission. Why are you doing it? I was like, well, I like practicing doing something that is very uncomfortable, not just for me, but for everyone else. Getting people to connect with each other is not easy. Getting people to come out of their comfort zone and stop talking to their best friend and come and talk to someone else is not easy. Getting people to get off their table. Everybody is comfortable with their 3 friends around the table and their dinner, and they rather just do that because we're used to that. It's not easy, one, for them to get up, and it's not easy for me to have the courage and this discipline and this perseverance and persistence a little bit and pushiness a little bit. But it's really this inspiration that I know, and this is like the science, that in so many cases, people could be in the same event and they could be one table apart from each other. And they are exactly that event to meet with each other. And that's why God and the universe did everything they can to bring them in proximity together. But because we're not stepping out of our comfort zone to talk to strangers, that person will just show up there. And maybe even we'll see them again and again at different friends' events, but we're not going to have that courage to bring them together. And I've learned that, this is something we've heard in the movies, with great power comes great responsibility. My great power is connecting people together. And not just as a super connector, as someone who is an immigrant since the age of 10 and an introvert by nature. And I wish I had such people in my life when I was growing up. Because for me, it was impossible to try to talk to strangers. It was so challenging to try to make new friends every time I moved schools. And I moved school, I got kicked out 3 times out of high schools. And it was such a nightmare to try to talk to women. And I know that I had to go through it in my 20s, and in my 30s, I got quite comfortable. Now in my 40s, I'm very comfortable. But still, I still see myself in situations where I'm like, should I do this or not? So like, should I come out of my comfort zone once again? And I'm like, Gil, this is your mission. And you're doing it because if you put yourself right now in their shoes, they haven't gone through so much hardship like you have. They haven't challenged themselves so many times to do something that I believe is the biggest fear we have as human beings. I believe is networking. If you ask Google, Google will say fear of rejection, a fear of public speaking. What is public speaking? Speaking publicly. What is rejection? Being rejection and networking. So I really believe that the biggest fear we have as human beings is networking, human connection. Networking, it's not this ability to go to a business club or to go to some sort of a bar and connect with people, get their business card. Networking is a spiritual aspect of life. It could be even a spiritual practices to get ourselves connected with others. So I love doing it, and I love that I was able to do it for you as well. Thank you for allowing me to.
Look, I was like, oh my God, I think you called. I knew you were going to call my name. I knew it. I was like, I think he's about to just put me on the spot right now. And I didn't want to talk to anybody in that place. I literally was I think I had just arrived and I was tired. And I was like, let me just show my face. I didn't want to be like out there, but you were like, I was like, oh, I knew he was going to say me. But I'm so glad that you did.
I like, for me, it's usually, if you look at me historically, I would never walk to the most beautiful girl in the room. And now I've learned that because I have more experience, why not walk up to the most beautiful woman in the room and try to kind of connect with her and try to get her connecting with others? Why not aim high? It's the same thing with Tony Robbins. If I'm going to work with coaches in the world and I'm going to promote them and I'm going to become a good promoter for them and I'm going to become the biggest promoter in the world for them, why not pick the best in the world? So I picked on you because of who you are. You're awesome.
Thank you. Well, I am very glad that you did, because like I said, I I'm not one to just jump out of my comfort skin and into a conversation with a stranger. So I'm very appreciative because I actually, connected with some really amazing people, including yourself at that place. I was like, wow, these people are amazing. It's cool. It was really cool. So you had something like that too at the summit that we both spoke at. It was you had Shati there and you were serving tea, which was amazing, by the way. I love tea, so that was really, really awesome to just sit there and be able to share tea with other people. But you had this entire wall of people going to put notes on the wall. Can you explain what that was?
Yeah, I love that. Thank you for that question. So, that wall has been called many, many things over the last 15 years. My partner and I created a company called Meet Partners about 14 years ago. And Meet Partners in a beginning part was a speed dating company. And it was really about like helping people go through the fears of connecting. Because in my 20s, when I did speed dating, I basically understood I have 15 women I'm going to meet tonight. If I mess up with the first 5, it's okay. You get another 10, Gil. And when I was in my 30s and we wanted to set up this speed dating company, it was really interesting to move from speed dating, and we tried like cooking classes and wine tasting evenings and dancing classes to connect people. And then it moved to bigger events connected to personal development. And we found that bringing people together in an event, whatever the theme is not enough. Like, clearly, people come to the event to connect with others. And I was studying this. I'm a scientist. I like studying things. I like analyzing situations. And I was like, look at how many people are in the break on their phones. And look how many people show up at an event and they don't go and sit next to someone new. They go and they look for a seat away from others. I was like, what is going on? Like, people clearly are showing up at an event because why do we show up in public events? For networking. I believe that any event people go to, whether it's a training event, personal development, a party, a birthday, we go out for human connection. And I learned that this is a weakness that we have as humanity. So we created this wall, and we called it a networking wall, and it was called a connection wall, and it was called a co-creator zone. And we gave it all these different names depending on the event. And the idea of the wall is every single time it was a spontaneous way of creating it. And sometimes we actually printed something official, but it was a way to have people come to one area to see who is there. Now, we understood that we can bring them to a networking zone, and it wasn't enough because people were still on their phones and looking around. How can we get people to put their phones down and have empty hands? So can we give them a cup of tea? A nice warm cup of tea to hold. As soon as you're holding something warm, whether it's tea or whether it's like some flowers or some infused herbs to give you a little biohacking kick, whatever it really is, as soon as they're holding that, right away they feel calmer, right away they feel more comfortable, and they're not holding onto their phone. So that's already like a big check. Nice. Now, how can we get people to share with others? Maybe they're an introvert. Maybe they're like an immigrant like me who don't speak English very comfortably, so they're not really comfortable to talk to everyone. Or maybe they're single and they really like that girl, but they don't have the confidence to walk up to her. So how can we create a wall where we give people little cards and we get them to write something down? And we've experimented so much. Can we get them to write their dreams or their wishes? Can we get them to write the kind of business partner they want or the kind of life partner they want? What else can we get them to do? And then we started creating these sections on the wall. Mainly because if you think about it in life, most of us, successful people like all of you listeners right now, we think about our goals in life, about what we want to acquire, what we want to consume, what we want to experience, what we want to contribute, But we don't tend to think enough about or really have structured goals. Who do we wish to meet and why? Who do we want to have in our network and why? Who do we want to meet this week? Like, who do I need to meet this week? And the idea of this wall became, do I know who I want to meet and why? And do I believe Gil's magic? And Gil's magic belief is this, if I'm going to go up to the wall and put a note of the kind of person I want to meet as a business partner or as a mentor, and I'll put it in specific sections, what are the chances that the person that I want to meet is standing next to me as I put that on the wall? And I started looking at it statistically. And not only that most people were standing next to someone that they really wanted to meet, and it also it was a trigger for a conversation. Oh, wow, like as I'm putting the card, I'm reading your card. That's interesting. Can we talk about that? So it was also a conversation starter. What else became very interesting is I told people, don't just put your card down. Look to see who else put their cards down around that section and consider if you're willing to write them, because we inspired people to put their phone numbers on there. So we're like, you're reading something that you like. That person is potentially somewhere here near you. So it's almost like having a billboard of people around you. But it's not online, because if it's online, you need to connect with them online and chat with them. This is offline. This person is around you right here during proximity. So if the event is for, like in our event, the I'm Creation Summit, we had like 400 people at the event. So, and we had over 200 people put their cards on the wall. So that means that the person that I'm reading something from is here in proximity to me. Do I have enough courage and discipline? And that's why we had all these people inspiring people to call that person and say, hey, I just saw your card. I'm at the wall. Can you come and meet me? I'm wearing a white shirt. And that's what ended up happening. We had all these angels. We called them networking angels, facilitating people coming out of their comfort zone, speaking out who they wish they can meet. We started using, Bali words like, who do you wish you can manifest? And why not use such words? Manifestation is such a beautiful word, but think about the power of manifestation when you're choosing to manifest a type of human being that you'd love to connect with today. And you're reading a card from them right now. And maybe the card had some colors. We gave people glitter and we gave people markers to make their cards stand out. Because if you show up at an event and you're like wearing a black t-shirt and black pants and, you look like a very normal person, it's one thing. But if you look like if you guys look like Elisabeth, you stand out. It's nice. But sometimes we don't know how to stand out. And it's nice to be able to give people that opportunity. Hey, I'm giving you a white blank card. I'm giving you all these tools to stand out. Can you choose the right words to help you stand out? Can you describe who it is that you wish to meet or what it is that you can offer in a way? And people needed the help. So that's why we create these spaces, and doing it, the combination of networking with tea together, I believe is the ultimate hack for presence when it comes to building a new relationship.
Yo, I'm like blown away right now, because you told me a little bit about that, but I didn't know it was all of that. Wow, that just blew my freaking mind, because so much you said resonates so deeply. Because like I said, I'm introverted. As soon as you gave me that tea, it was like, oh, I'm okay. And then I walked over and I talked to some people, some strangers. I wanted some more tea, I felt really comfortable. So that was very true. And then the fact that, holy crap, I mean, you sound like the modern day Cupid. Did you like make anybody's like connections real? Like, was there a lot of people calling people?
Yeah.
Like, there was.
Yeah. So that was the most. So thank you for calling me that. First of all, it's way over a dozen people that have gotten married because of me back in the days.
What?
And it's hundreds and hundreds of people that have raised money from investors because of me. And it's tens of thousands of people that have connected because of our walls. And I could tell you with a hand in my heart that we received so much feedback every single day during those 3 days that this wall was the highlight of that person's event. Because people came to an event called I Am Creation, but realistically, it's not I Am Creation, it's we are creation. It's all about we are co-creators. And if we are co-creators, then it means that we came to this event to meet our co-creators. I remember on day 2, I had one woman running to me and like giving me a big hug. Oh my God, he's so cute. He's amazing. We stayed up all night talking. I'm like, what are you talking about? Who are you? I had no idea who she was. She's like, I heard your speech yesterday. You inspired me. I came to your wall. I put my card. Some guy called me. We had some tea for a few minutes. And then we left the event. We couldn't stop talking the whole night. I was like, just talking? She's like, yeah, just talking. Oh my God, I love him. I'm like, what do you mean, like, love him? I'm like, no, I think we're going to create some sort of amazing business together. They just, like, it was kindred spirits. And we had so many people writing us on social media saying that that space itself, because of the wall, because we had these networking angels, facilitators, because of the tea and the way we were serving tea, it allowed people to kind of drop their shields. Because as human beings, we do shield ourselves. We don't want to get hurt. We've not been taught that strangers are amazing. No, I'm sorry. We've been taught by many, many cultures that stranger is danger. What's going on? We've also been taught don't take like candy or don't take food from a stranger. Hold on. What if I'm walking in a shopping mall and I'm walking into a candy shop and the lady in the candy shop is offering me samples? Hey, Dad, can I take some samples? Yeah, it's in the candy shop. But like, it's okay to take candies from strangers. And I think strangers are angels. That's what we should have been taught. We should have been taught that strangers are angels unless we see them differently. And the reason I think them as angels is because, like, if as a person, I understand, today as Gil, I understand that everything I ever want to achieve, I need someone else. And I'm constantly telling God and the universe, hey, I'm looking for this kind of a person. Like recently, last month, I really needed someone that can guide me and mentor me and support me on how to work with family offices. And I said, I wrote down details that I'm looking for a person. Ideally, they've had international experience. Ideally, they're showing up in Bali a lot, and they can really help me build relationship with family offices to raise money differently in life. And within a week, the ideal person showed up in my life, and he now wants to spend more time in Bali, and he stopped drinking alcohol a few years ago, and he loves everything we're doing with tea. And because of this mindset, I understand that if you were able to help people communicate who they want to meet, and I'm able to do something as simple and get them to write it down and get them to put it out publicly on a wall, whether they get the result that day or not, they decided that it is time to write down who they wish to meet. And that's already a massive step. It's a massive step to wake up in the morning and while still in bed, looking up at the wall, looking at your house and maybe closing your eyes and telling God, hey, God, today, can you please surprise me with this kind of people in my life? Like, please bring me a new stranger into my life. Please bring me someone that would inspire me on a new marketing strategy. Please, someone that would help me get out of a hole I've been buried in and I can't get out of. Please help bring me someone in my life that would show me what true love is all about. Please bring someone into my life that can help inspire me to take big actions in my life. Please bring me someone in my life. You know, when I ask people this question, and I love asking people, by the way, everyone who's listening, one of the best pickup questions in any different event is, who are the kind of people you wish to attract into your life or why? You know, or potentially like coming to this event today, was there any kind of specific person you wish you could meet? And most people say, oh no, I just came without any goal, I just came in flow. Bullshit. No one does that really. We all come to an event hoping at the bottom of our hearts that we will meet someone that is relevant to us. All of us want to meet someone that we can become friends with or partners with or lovers with. So when people say, oh, I'm just coming in freely, I'm going to let the universe, I'm going to let God, I'm just trusting that whoever I need to meet will meet. No. Be open and be honest and ask people to give you that answer, because once we start giving the answers and we hear ourselves, we'd be a little bit shocked because we realize that we're saying to people, well, we start asking people to bring us clients. And I'm like, no, don't ask for a client. Or like women always tell me, oh, I wish I could meet my husband. No, you're not going to meet your husband tonight. It doesn't work that way. You might meet a man who is available. He might be very friendly with you. You might like each other a lot. It's going to take some time to build rapport and build a relationship. You're not going to meet your husband. It's the same thing with a client. Don't show up at an event looking for a client. Show up at an event to look for someone who you can like and you can find interesting, and you can help them find you interesting, and you can build a little bit of rapport and make sure that you are relevant to them in this exact moment. And maybe after a follow-up, or after some tea, maybe after they can become a client. And I think it's society that kind of ruined it for us. They made us use people in order to move forward in life instead of collaborate with people in order to grow in life.
Yeah. Oh my God. This is amazing. Oh my God. Because you're literally like, there's a missing piece, right? There's a missing freaking piece. And you're exactly right. It's the connection of the person. And it's also knowing exactly the person that you want to come in. So we're taught through manifestation. Oh, we, visualize ourselves doing the thing and living, driving the car and owning the house. But we rarely visualize ourselves attracting the exact type of people that we want to bring in. So literally, I tell people, you have to start with the end in mind, because if you don't, then you're literally driving blind. It's like going on a road trip, not knowing where you're going to end up. So with this, it's like, how would you even know what type of people are going to come in unless you think about what type of people that you want to bring in? And it happened for you with that person that you brought in, like living proof. This is amazing. I'm thinking of life completely different right now, Gil. I love this.
I think it happens to us all the time, but it happens to us without being fully aware of it. Like, clearly, you're a successful person. You've been through a lot in your life. People know your beautiful story. And everything that happens to us not just because of what we feel and what's in our mind, but it happens to us because of the network that's around us. And because we are going through our own journeys in life, not everyone we pick in life is going to be a perfect match. And sometimes we pick someone in life and we need to go through a challenging journey in order to get to where we need to get to in life. Sometimes we meet an angel in life in order for them to, maybe they distract us from our mission, sometimes for a day and sometimes for a year. But what I tell people is that if you realize that your network is not just your net worth, but your network is really your lifeline. Your network, if you have a healthy network, you will be healthy. If you have a network that's very, very wealthy, you'll be wealthy. It's as simple as that. Now, some people saying, oh, Gil, that's not fair. I live in a very, very poor city. Okay, take some action, start connecting with people online, and then make yourself a plan to move somewhere else in your life. And then people say, oh, I don't have as many resources as you do to go. Well, today you can actually build a whole life for yourself online. You can get on cameras, you can connect with people. You can even find ways of being subsidized by others. You can find sponsors to help you go to the events if you know how to bring value to others. And I really love what you said, because it's sometimes when we don't think about who else we want in our life, it's not because we don't know. It's because we're in a position of, it's almost like it's an illusion of fulfillment. It's an illusion of, well, I have already a network. I have my family and I have my friends and I have my colleagues, and I don't have time to do more networking, Gil. I don't have time to go to events. I don't have time to manage new relationships. Well, yes, that is a fact. That is not, imagination. We only have 1,440 minutes every single day. That's how many minutes the human being has. We always think about it 24 hours, 8 hours of sleep. No. It's really interesting number, 1,440. I like sharing that in the world. We have 1,440 minutes. And if we want to be healthy, like the doctors say, then we sleep for about 7 to 8 hours. And that's about 440 minutes. It's about 7 hours and 20 minutes. Healthy. Which means you have 1,000 minutes when you're awake to do one thing, to network. Now you could choose. I want to network with myself, Gil. Okay, network with yourself. Brush your teeth and meditation and like, go to the toilet, like do whatever you want on your own, eat alone, no problem. 100 minutes a day, 200 minutes a day. Okay. Well, Gil, I also want to talk to God and the universe. No problem. It's good. Prayer and meditation, talk to God 100 minutes a day. Okay. Gil, I want to walk in nature. I want to connect with trees. Okay, no problem. 100 minutes a day. Gil, I have a dog. I want to connect with my dog. I want to walk my dog around. That's networking, by the way. The biggest spiritual teachers in the world tell us that if a cat or a dog walk up to you on the street, give it your attention. Just for a moment. Give it your attention. You don't have to pet it if you don't feel good. Just say thank you for that being came to you to network with you. There's a reason. Say thank you. So you can give your pets some minutes every single day. So then we have whatever you think, 500, 600, 700, 800 minutes available in the day to network with human beings because you've done all the other stuff. So then it's humans. So then we could break it down. How much of that time am I networking with my family? How much of that time am I networking with only my colleagues at work? And then have I ever been aware of how much time I try to allocate a little bit to network with people I forgot about? Like you open your phone and you scroll down 6 months. You're like, why have I not written that person in 6 months? That was a really cool person. I had an amazing connection with them. And it always comes down to, I didn't have time. Well, it's not that you didn't have time, is you didn't prioritize bringing new people into your life, which is why our lives stay the same a lot. Unless we bring new people into our life, I personally don't believe it's easy to grow. I don't know how, unless you force yourself and you do everything with yourself and energy, and then you break down, you get overwhelmed, you get sick, and that's why the universe tells you, stop, relax. You're not learning your lessons. You can't do it all by yourself. We got to co-elevate with others. So I believe that people understanding that they need some new people in their lives, what they do is a little networking audit. They can see how they can allocate some minutes. I love leaving people a 1-minute voice message, especially like these people that I have not spoken to in 3 months. Last week, before the end of every year, I love to take time always in November. And I take like literally hours every single week, hours and hours until the end of the year. And I look back on Telegram, on WhatsApp, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, and I go back 6 months, 1 year. I go back 1 year and I start looking at some people and I start deciding these people came into my life for a reason. I want to reconnect. And what I do is I send them a nice, friendly voice message. If someone's listening, and I sent you a nice voice message recently, I was thinking about you and I didn't want to lose full connection. And I'm not saying I want to build a business with you now. I'm not saying I want to get on a call with you. I'm just sending you a nice friendly voice message to let you know that I was thinking about you and curious to know how you are and giving you a little update on how things I am. And I'm not asking you to respond, but I just wanted to tell you that I was thinking about you and I'm curious to know what's new and exciting in your life. And it's very beautiful to see how we can manage a much better and more beautiful life that flourishes when we are constantly adding nutrient and we're adding energy to the garden that we have planted around us.
That's so beautiful. Wow. Wow. Beautiful. I'm going to do that. You've inspired me to do that, Gil. That's amazing. So, okay, let me ask you this. So recently I have completely shifted the people that I was around completely. It was one way for about 4.5 years, and now it's completely different. Okay. And I wonder, my personal opinion and belief is that we are vibration frequency, right? And when we can change our frequency, or when things change, the external world has to change to mirror that back. So I have met so many great people in the past 6 months that I never would have even thought to have brought into my life, or that we would have connected in any way, shape, or form, because I really feel like my frequency, my vibration has changed to be able to align with different types of people. So do you believe that is kind of how we connect? I mean, how do you, like, even if we're reaching out to strangers or we're connecting, I mean, don't we all still have to be in the kind of same frequency, vibration, and vibe to vibe? Or what's your thoughts on that?
I love that. So, I've been studying very, very deeply, frequencies and understanding vibrations that we have, not only for humans, but I've also studied it for animals and also for nature. And it's very, very interesting to see how nature has frequencies, and that's why some people say when I go and I sit in nature, it calms me down. And I also studied to see how nature could grow. So when COVID hit, I had a massive garden here in Bali, and I was like, hey, I'm not really busy. I'm going to invite a farmer in. I want to plant everything in my garden. I want it to be edible. And I started learning why the tomato plant loves being next to the papaya and next to the guta cola, and why they're all growing together, why they like to mix things up. And I learned that we're the same thing as humans. We need different people around us to manage things around. Different times of the year, we need different things and different people around us. For women, you don't have one cycle, you got 4 cycles in a month. And this is something I learned, by the way, for everyone who's listening. Oh my God, at the age of 45, I'm now 46. At the age of 45, a woman taught me that women have 4 cycles, not 1 in a month, which means that she also needs different types of people throughout those cycles. They cannot be the same type of people all the time, or else she's not allowing herself to flow. I still don't fully understand how many cycles we have as men, but it's a different story for another time. But what I know is that, yes, our frequencies definitely make a big, big difference in how we connect with people. And the kind of vibes we have makes a very, very big difference. But we can also change our vibes because of the type of network we step into. We don't have to sit at home, meditate, and say, okay, now I'm in a different vibe, and now I've listened to the right audiobook, or now I've read the right kind of program, and I'm now in a different frequency. I can now, no. You want to hack your frequencies, go into a better network vibe. You want to feel much, much better, go to a yoga class. You want to feel more zen, you don't need to do meditation at home. Go to a meditation class and be around other people who are meditating at that moment and talk to them, because they're in the exact same frequency. You want to be in more money-minded frequency? Find an event that talks about money energy and go there. And don't just go and listen to the speaker and write notes and go home, which is what a lot of people do. Speak to the people who are sitting next to you, because they're in the exact same frequency. And the reason we want to build relationships with these people around us, because if you're going to an event, you go to a Tony Robbins event, and you learn an amazing 4, 5, 6 days, you're on a roll, you get the energy, and you're in the right vibration with the right people. Once you go home, if you don't stay in touch with those people, you're back to your old self. Meaning the only way to maintain that high vibe, great frequency sort of approach in life and state of mind is to change the network that you have around you. So it feels uncomfortable because sometimes we feel like we're tired and we don't want to see anyone. And that happens to me as well. I love taking days off, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not an extrovert. I am an introvert who's just reprogrammed himself. I'm an introvert who loves staying home by myself and to watch a movie the whole day on a Saturday instead of going out to these epic events. Yes, I'm allowed to do that. But I'm also the kind of guy that would say, well, you know what? It's a really important week for you next week. You do need to attract such people into your life. Maybe you have them, but maybe you just want some energy, some more inspiration from some other entrepreneurs. Gil, write down who you want, or at least speak it out. These days, I literally speak it out. I send myself voice messages and go to this event and go and talk to some of these people. And you're just going to come home with inspiration. It's not about potentially meeting another client. It's not potentially meeting a woman. It's not potentially making a new friend, which, by the way, yes, I'm always open to have more clients. I'm always open to meet a nice, friendly woman. I'm available and single in my life right now. I'm always available to meet new friends. But I'm not going in hoping to hook someone in. I'm going in to look for mentors. I'm going in to find inspiration. I'm going in to meet some potential angels that were maybe even sent to that event from me to connect with them, for me to inspire them, for me to them to inspire me. And maybe we'll never see each other again, but maybe we'll just say the right things to each other. So I think it's a balance of being ready before going out and just thinking, well, am I ever going to be ready? I might as well go out right now, and I'll get ready along the way. And I do that a lot. Sometimes I remember when I met, I don't know if you guys know who Steven Seagal is. He's a very, very famous actor. You know, when I was young, he was my big kind of like guru. Oh my God, I love the guy so much. And I remember meeting him some years ago in Moscow. And when I saw him at the Ritz Hotel across from the lobby, in my head, I came up with all these reasons why not to walk up to him. Because I was not in the right framework. I was not in the right mindset. I was not maybe ready. Maybe I was not, rich enough, successful enough. Maybe I didn't know how to add value. I kept on coming up with all these reasons that makes people stay at home. But because I'm Gil Petersil, I said, no, go. And I said, 1, 2, 3, start walking. And I started walking towards him. And I wouldn't stop. In my head, I wasn't thinking why this is going to be difficult. I was thinking, why should I be talking to him right now? And how can I add value to him? And what is a good question I can ask him right now? And it was amazing because that whole moment was all slow motion for me, because he was talking to a woman, but he also had this really, really big guy next to him, assuming a security guard. Like, why would Steven Seagal need a security guard? A martial arts expert, but still. And I remember this big guy literally saw me, and I was walking in slow motion, but he saw me and he took some steps towards me, basically blocking me and Steven Seagal, which happens a lot in life, where we want to talk to someone and we get distracted by a friend of ours. A friend is saying, oh, stay with us and have another drink. Forget those people. Or like, stay here, it's comfortable. Or you're trying to get to that CEO and you call them up and the secretary is saying, I'm sorry, he's busy. I'm sorry, he's busy. And we don't find ourselves in position where we're resourceful enough or perseverant. We don't find ourselves a little bit being pushy, a little bit more confidence in us. And what I try to tell everyone that I talk to is, you got to find that position for a quantum leap. And in that moment of my life, I kind of saw everything in slow motion. I see this security guard in front of me, and everything I kind of did is I was kind of trying to do this to see if I can get eye to eye with Steven. And at one point I saw him kind of looking, and even though the security guard was blocking me, I did this, and I did one of these signals like, can I come and talk to you? And I was still far from him, like, I don't know, 10 meters away still. And he's like, yeah, come. And I'm walking by the security guy, giving him this look like, yeah, like, don't be that blocker. Don't block me. And it happens in life. And sometimes it could be our ego that blocks us. Sometimes it could be other people. And, that relationship ended up flourishing so beautifully. And today, I've been talking to him a lot in my life. I see him regularly when I'm traveling to Dubai. He was in Bali recently. We spent last Christmas, we had Christmas dinner together at Russell Simmons' place, actually. So such relationships, sometimes if we don't take advantage of the opportunity, we will end up regretting it. And what we need is just a little bit more practice. It's the same thing as me telling someone, go and play the piano, and they've only had one lesson. They're not going to maybe have confidence to play it the first time so well. It's just why I tell people, if you want to get healthy, don't try to do it on your own. Go work with a nutritionist, work with a fitness trainer. If you want to learn how to become a great chef, go and work with chefs. If you want to learn how to play a musical instrument, yeah, there are some geniuses in the world that can figure out on their own. I didn't. I had to learn from a lot of other people. I had to partner up with people. I had to serve people. And I also had to, I lived in 7 countries, and I had to go through really, really difficult rejections in my life to understand that there are hacks to human connections. We do have teachers out there. And I call these quantum networking codes. They're very, very simple codes that help us understand how we can make small changes in our lives in order to make things just easier. easier to make friends, easier to have more health, easier to have more money, easier to get more opportunities in life, easier to just have, feeling more like I am living my greatest life right now, not because of me, because of the network that I've built around me.
Wow. I'm so inspired right now. This was such a great comment. Gil, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to be different because I'm one of those people. I like to, God's source universe is so beautiful to me because I literally can just sit in my apartment and I meet amazing, fantastic people. And that's the reason why I went to Bali. It was just because of a meeting online. Like, I don't go anywhere. I literally stay here at work and I might go to the gym. That's it. So you've inspired me to kind of get out here more and talk to more people because I'm always the one that's like, oh, well, if they're the right person, then we're going to connect anyways. I don't really need to go out there. But you know what? I think I need to start going out there some more. So I appreciate this so much. This has been amazing. Gil, what are you working on? Where can people find you? I mean, what projects do you have? Like, what's going on with you in your life right now?
Yeah, thank you for that. So I'm happy that I inspired you. Put together what always suggest to people is put a little plan together before you randomly go out and network. Like sit there and think, hey, what kind of people do I want to meet and where do I want to go? Like I don't go to bars, I go to tea houses. I don't go to clubs, I go to art galleries. I don't go to loud places because I don't want to be near a very, very loud DJ with loudspeakers. It's not my thing anymore. I don't drink alcohol. So I'd rather meet like-minded people, and some people go to the gym and they don't want to talk to someone. Some people go to the gym because they want to meet other healthy people. And you're a beautiful woman, so allow yourself to go out there and get people to walk up to you and talk to you because you're awesome, So I find that if you out there and you're an awesome person, it's not fair to understand that you're an awesome person and not let the right other awesome people meet you. It's almost like, think about it, like God made you not for himself. He made you to share you with others. The question then he gave to you is, who do you want to share your time with? And I've gone very deep into that question in the last couple of years because for the last 15 years, I've been very active in the world of personal development, and I've set up a lot of businesses around the space. And in the last 2 years, I've taken a journey down the world of quantum connections. And I wanted to find a vehicle. I wanted to find a way to make it easier for people to connect. So we have a movement called Cha Tea. And Cha Tea is all about bringing more tea servers into the world. People that could serve tea in an awesome way, creating a nice tea bar and creating a nice tea space or a tea house. And it's not just about the teas, but it's about brewing different infusions. So we have Cha Tea social infusions, which creates epic type of networking zones at different events. And we are aiming to bring in 100,000 new tea servers or tea sommeliers or tea masters or tea baristas into the world. And we see that being the most impactful way that I could bring more connectivity to the world is I find competing with the alcohol world and the coffee world. Bringing people, I find that if you want to go out on an awesome date, take a woman to a tea house. It's romantic, it's beautiful, it's calming. You could spend as little or as much as you can imagine when it comes to tea. And you have a very, very beautiful experience with presence. If you want to have a great business experience with someone, and I've learned this from China. If you go to China, any business meeting you walk into, they'll serve you tea in order to put our phones away and to have a little bit more presence. People have been serving tea for thousands of years. So Cha Tea for me is a way to give back to the world and take everything I've learned about networking and bring it to people in a form that's simple to understand and sip into, a cup of tea. My partnerships are people like Human Garage, Gary Lineham, and Jason and Aisha, the founders. I've gone very, very deep because I've understood that the people out there who are into wellness, they'll also be more into having a cup of tea instead of a drink of alcohol. So we're partnering up with people like that right now, and we're looking for a lot more partners. And of course, my mission is still to bring people connection. So I'm 30% of my time I spend as a coach, as a mentor, as a public speaking, as public speaker, showing up at the right places, holding the right entrepreneurs by the hands, and helping them to understand that if you want to take a quantum leap in life, if you want to really grow yourself, whether it's into a new industry, or whether you want to take your business into a new country, or whether you just want to come out of your network and you want to find a new passion in life, the easiest way to do that is through networking strategy. And I tell people, hey, you could do it on your own and you're going to go through what a lot of us go through, or you can allow someone like myself to hold you by the hand and make it a lot easier, less headaches, less pitfalls, more awareness, more connections. I love not only, there's that saying that if you give someone a fish, you feed them for the day, but if you teach them how to fish, you let them eat for their whole life. It's the same thing in networking. I like giving people a balance. So I'm not just going to give them connections, because I can give them ideal connections they want to meet. People want to meet people. I can clearly introduce them to those people. But what I've learned is that giving someone an introduction doesn't mean that they know how to connect. They know how to build rapport. They don't know how to follow up. They don't necessarily know how to build a collaboration with them. So what I tell people is, let's do kind of practice and theory. Let's take some of my connections, take some of your connections, and slowly make some adjustments in your mindset. Make some adjustments in your energy levels when you're connecting with people. Make some adjustments so that you can clearly measure how much more success, how much more joy, how much more nourishment you're getting every day of your life from the network. And in order to connect with me, it's easy. I'm the only Gil Petersil on Google. You can find me everywhere. Easiest way to catch me is on LinkedIn and on Instagram. And I love giving people the challenge of sending me a 1-minute voice message. It's one of the greatest ways to know that people truly want my attention, because then they'll get my answer. If they just say, hello, Gil, thank you for your content, it's not going to be me answering. It's going to be my team. But if they send me a 1-minute voice message, sharing a story or sharing a request or even asking for help, I love that. And if they give me one of their minutes, the least I could do, because I know I have 1,000 available minutes every day, I can give them at least one of my minutes. And sometimes having those 2 minutes come together is what Napoleon Hill, who wrote the book Think and Grow Rich, spoke about. Is when two come together, they're actually making a third. Because when two people come together and they plant the seeds together, they're actually planting the seed of the relationship. And then it's the relationship that is the third. The relationship can flourish not necessarily with one or the other. Both need to give a little bit of their time and their energy in order for that to flourish beautifully. So I look forward to flourishing with some people out there.
Wow, Gil, I'm inspired. This was amazing. I feel so good. Like, I have such a busy day ahead of me, and now I feel so much gratitude. Wow, this was really, I didn't expect this, Gil. Like, I'm sitting here like, oh my God, this has been really amazing. And I'm so honored and glad that we connected, Gil, and that we'll be building together, because I know that, our plant, our seed is going to flourish into something really amazing. And I know all of the people that listen to the show and that really follow me are really going to love your message and the way you're moving in this world. So you guys, all the links will be in the description. Make sure that you send Gil a 1-minute voice note. And Gil, it's been an absolute honor, and I would just love to have you back sometime again. This has been great. Thank you so much.
Thank you, my dear. Thank you, everybody. Please do stay in touch, and feel free to add value to someone else out there today. Take a challenge to pick 1, 2, or 3 people, send them a voice message, and tell them why they're amazing.
I love that so much. Guys, this is another amazing episode of Unlimited. Until next time, peace.
This podcast is for informational and entertainment purposes only. The views expressed are those of the hosts and guests and don't necessarily reflect those of the producers or affiliates. We do not guarantee the accuracy of the content. Please verify information and seek professional advice when needed. By listening, you agree not to hold us liable for any actions taken based on this content. Thank you for joining us on this journey. We hope you enjoy the episodes ahead.
Before we wrap, if you're done living in loop mode, the addictions, the emotional swings, the stuck seasons, start with a tool that actually shifts your state. Go to unlimitedmeditationpack.com, and download the free pack I created. It's 5 targeted meditations with theta entrainment frequencies that drop you into the zone where real subconscious reprogramming happens. These sessions calm your system, clear the old patterns, and open you up to better health, better connections, more clarity, and a life that finally moves. Start there. UnlimitedMeditationPack.com.